Guys, I have the amazing opportunity to be with one of the leading experts in the Web3 space. Mr. Robert Genito has been here for many years, 15 plus years, I believe, has been in the industry of tech and cryptology, cryptography, all the little nuances and stuff. And Robert, thank you so much for being here. And in general, thank you so much for disseminating this just raw knowledge.
Thank you, Turabify.
Be a friend and to see you around. So, Robert, if someone's watching this podcast and they don't know who the fuck you are, right? Why should they trust you when it comes down to finance, when it comes down to understanding AI, when it comes down to understanding what the Web3 space is? Why are you actually a voice that people should trust? What experience did you have?
I don't think people should trust me. No, really, I think they should trust God and keep listening to their emotions and keep feeling things emotionally, keep challenging their fears and finding what they're passionate about. And as they see that and they get more hope in themselves, right? I think as people do that, they will learn something that I've learned is that trusting something by default is actually a really good idea.
Interesting.
I guess this turns into a here's why to trust me thing, but
I know you.
Yeah.
And I know some of the things that you do. I don't think other people do. And I think when they see this content, there's a lot of fear.
Yeah.
Right? And I totally on board with where you're going. I will ask some follow-up questions on what companies have you built? How have you actually gotten revenue places? How have you exited? All these things that are just relevant data for people to be like, oh, not only is he talking facts and the mental sense, but there's straight logic behind this guy and has experience in this industry.
And in regards to trust, two things that I think are really valuable besides, hey, should I trust someone? I remember certain interviews or things that I would watch, it would really turn me off and I'd get really upset about it. And however, since I was watching it over a video, one day I thought to myself, well, hold on. Here's someone talking about something I disagree with, and I feel almost like I'm being attacked. But clearly I'm not being attacked. Clearly it's just somebody there's a big screen between us and time, because they probably recorded it 3 years ago. I had this idea that, if somebody is saying something that I immediately don't trust, why I barely spent any time listening to them. This may be an hour-long video on YouTube or something long ago. It's I haven't even spent an hour with this person. I haven't even spent any time with this person.
Yeah.
So how could my distrust possibly be correct?
Interesting. The other side of the equation, which most people are very much on, distrust first. What is it? The whole philosophy and law, right, is innocent until proven guilty, where society is considered consistently saying guilty until proven innocent.
Or are you guilty or not guilty? And I was innocent. Judge was the lawyer's freaking out. Robert, the response is guilty, not guilty, or no contest. And I'm I'm innocent, no contest. Yeah, innocent. Don't give me these. Okay, I see. You got a workflow you want to do, but you don't have to follow a workflow just because some human being says so. But this method of having to my attention where I default distrusted something, I came up with this tactic of how to work with it. And I thought, you know what? If I want to watch a video at night or listen to a podcast while I'm juicing or something like that, I came up with this system where if I immediately distrust something or I find myself going into a trance where I'm not paying attention anymore and I'm just thinking about other things where I'm distracted, I started this system of the moment I noticed that to start re-listening or re-watching to where I lost attention. Or
you rewind the video.
Yeah.
On the thought. Okay.
Or if I was distrusting it, I might rewind it a little bit. But if I was distrusting it, hey, I gotta calm down and relax. Even though I might feel calm and relaxed already, you know what? This might be more worth listening to than I think it is. So if I found myself automatically distrusting something or just like fading out and not paying attention, I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm missing something incredibly important. So I would intentionally like pay attention to it big time. And I would find that so many distractions everywhere were coming. And I was like, damn, I just want to pay attention. Why is this suddenly this happening? Oh, well, let me pay attention anyways, because I really don't trust this person. I would just like listen instead. The majority of time that I've done this, it has become something that was life-changing for me.
Wow.
Entirely life-changing. So I got in this habit of like, if I heard information that I didn't trust, I got in this habit of listening. Like this didn't
Pulling down the intention of engagement.
This didn't happen at first in front of people. It just happened with like podcasts or like YouTube videos.
Right. Now, in terms of the facts, my friend, in terms of you are part of a company, right? And there's these goals, and there's a lot of, you're doing a raise. You're doing an $8.5 million raise right now for this company. Have you done raises before? How have they gone, and what have been the results?
Okay. In the early Bitcoin time, I had done raises, not even realizing I'm doing raises, and then realizing there's like security laws and stuff like regulating that.
What time period was this? What year?
2013.
2013.
Yeah, 2013, I had this insatiable desire to get as much, actually earlier than that, 2011, I had this insatiable desire to get as much hardware as possible to do Bitcoin mining.
Sure.
And in 2011, it was turning into, things were turning very quickly into like, you just can't use your processor anymore to mine Bitcoin. Pretty much everybody was using, like just one graphics card was doing so much more than any processor. So I had this like thought like, wow, okay, I like putting computers together and stuff like that. I like keeping machines online all the time. I need more hardware, right? And then called upon loans from friends and family for more hardware.
Interesting.
And then that turned into, all right, every outlet, every circuit breaker in the home is maximized.
How did you convince these family and friends to give you a loan for this stuff?
Just showing them like a Bitcoin price and Bitcoin market. Like back then there was barely Mt. Gox back then, mtgox.com. It was Magic the Gathering online exchange. No, it was
You want to get me really
it was that at first, sometime in the past.
interested.
But it was an exchange that popped up because people were trading Bitcoin like through chat rooms and through forums, over the counter trading. So people who were like friends and family, which I like see, like they didn't understand anything about Bitcoin. They were very curious. But when you just show them the numbers and the transactions of like, look here, like these people are just using some of their electricity. They're getting X amount of Bitcoin per day with like 5 machines.
This is scalable. This
Yeah.
is something if I put money.
This is scalable.
Did you?
Here's how much it costs with electricity. And here's how much if you sell all the Bitcoin it's worth right now. Yeah.
So you promised them this return on investment on their loan.
Well, things like I'll give you 10% per year. You give me 10%? Oh my God.
It's a great savings account.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, I like Robert. He's really nerdy. He's really nerdy and he's fun to talk to.
So that was your first raise.
Yeah.
How much do you think you made out of that raise?
I have no idea what that.
What's your estimation?
I really have no idea. How much made profit-wise?
Well, no, like how much
raise?
did you actually get from people? How much money do you think was the startup cost?
I mean, the first year with that, just with getting more hardware, it probably wasn't even $10,000.
Cool.
Yeah.
So 2013, Robert starts raising, get somewhere around, we'll say 10,000. Maybe.
No, more than that. Now that I'm thinking about it, 20 to 30,000.
Okay, cool. So
20 to 30,000.
30,000. Really legit, like actual sum of money for a lot of people. That's life-changing money. Right, yeah, I need that right now. So Robert, what is your projected price for Bitcoin in the next 3 years? I thought that was a very interesting number.
I will show you some goodies with that. It's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah, this man really just is financial model.
All right, well, Okay, so the one thing I did create here, yeah, I gotcha. Obviously, I didn't create Bitcoin, but I did create the strategy here. And I realize a lot of people don't think about this because they think about, let me take my sum of money, let me put 20% to this, let me put 50% to that. They don't think I can just buy Bitcoin entirely and just borrow from that immediately, right? Because we don't know about these systems, we haven't seen them. I'm gonna show you some of the systems, excuse me. Before I do show you, check this out. This is the Genius strategy. I'm moving this again, aren't I? And it's answering the question, well, what is better than Bitcoin? Well, what do you guys think is better than Bitcoin? Yeah, how about you? More Ripple?
Sure.
Yeah, more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor recently said this in some slides. I'd been saying this in slides for like 6-9 months, and now that he's saying it, it's like, all right, people can agree with this. Bitcoiners believe that Bitcoin is the thing, and XRP sucks, Ripple sucks because Bitcoin's awesome, right? They're maximalists. They're all about that. But we're calling this 100% genius. Well, let me tell you why. Here's the Bitcoin strategy at a glance. If you don't know what the Bitcoin strategy is, all it is you put Bitcoin onto your balance sheet. So you take your 20% of your funds and you buy Bitcoin with it. So you don't have cash that just sits there. Instead of cash, you're holding onto Bitcoin. It's a long-term strategy. But part of the Bitcoin strategy is also, well, we're a business that raises money, so let's raise money to buy more Bitcoin. Let's have that be part of our strategy as well. Well, this is what MicroStrategy did, and within 4 years, they outperformed the entire S&P 500. That's what you see here. It's a little bit more than 4 years, but this gives you a view of 4 years of crypto. And what you have from this point up to this point is you have more than 10x price appreciation. So for every $1,000 that you had doing this, you now have $10,000. For every 10,000, you now have 100,000. For every $100,000, you now have 1,000,000. Pretty sweet. Well, yeah, it outperformed the entire S&P 500. So NVIDIA was a big player with chips and AI, and everybody's like, yeah, AI chips. But this still outperformed NVIDIA. And the success, of course, inspired many, many, many companies. The success was so many people were making fun of MicroStrategy, calling them dumb. They didn't want attention on Bitcoin, whatever it is. The truth is they did amazing. A lot of companies were inspired, but they learned, you know what? It really pays to be early. And we might think to ourselves, are we even early still with crypto? I'll tell you what, everybody's very early with crypto still. Just look at your average person. Your average person, it's not early if you're in the phone industry, right? Like phones, like touch phones and things. It's no longer early because now you have even people who are 90 using a phone, no problem. It's very intuitive. Crypto is not intuitive, period. But yeah, they learned, hey, it pays to be early and we need yield, damn it. Because if we got into this 10 years ago, this has more than 400x price appreciation in 10 years. But really, it's about 1,000x in 10 years. Have you ever 1,000x'd your money? No? Oh, yeah. So I didn't million-x my money with like Bitcoin and stuff. I could have done multiple million-x. I have 50,000x to my money. Like I look at where I was at 15 years ago, which was a programmer who makes really good money, but constantly like spending all of it and having no savings, etc. But having like a little bit of savings. Since then, I've learned a lot of lessons and 50,000x my wealth. And the lessons were emotional. They really weren't intellectual. So what people don't see is that the very beginning of price for Bitcoin, like this is the price of Bitcoin, this like blue thing, the actual price, right? On a monthly basis. And then this line here represents like how sharply the price is growing and how the price continues to grow. But you see that's like how fast the price of Bitcoin is not rising as fast as it was in the past. It's still rising. Like this here is like $100,000 Bitcoin. We know it's a bit higher. Well, this is saying the absolute lowest price of Bitcoin at the beginning of 2026, the absolute lowest price should be $85,000 per Bitcoin. So this is predicting the absolute lowest price. The Fannie Mae lady said, okay, beginning of 2030, the price should be $1 million per Bitcoin. She was saying it's going to be $1 million per Bitcoin, and this is saying it's going to be at least $230,000 per Bitcoin. The point is that Bitcoin's curve, although I can't easily zoom in here for you and show you, but I can show it in a different way. Bitcoin's price curve, this is like Bitcoin placed against its actuals. Now, this is the future, of course. So anyways, if you can predict the price of Bitcoin in the future, you can see how your portfolio will do. So I think a big point is that the price of the US dollar has gone down over time. Are you guys aware of that? Yes. Like the dollar is just constantly inflating. Yeah, recently, depressingly a lot. Like just depressingly a lot lately. And you can see it big time. You're already like looking at prices of things like in grocery stores and you're like, dude, that's a big ass difference, right? That happened to people in Venezuela like 8 years ago. They were like, what? It usually was 100,000 of these currency units and now it's 900,000. currency died. These are all variable interest rates, but maybe it grows 2%, 5% every year. So then 60 grand. In the future, it's 70 grand. Well, what if inflation is happening more than the interest rate that they're charging you? Well, if you actually do the math, what it turns out is if the US dollar inflates enough, the amount of value that you actually pay them back is worth less than the amount you borrowed in the first place. Now that might be a little bit of a handful, but just want to show you this real quick. I'll show you more tomorrow. I'll actually like borrow some money from Aave and you guys will be like, damn, you just borrowed some money? I'm like, yep, here, I'll send it to Venmo right now. And you'll be like, what? Oh my God, that's real. Yeah, so there are some really bizarre possibilities in the future. I just want to show you guys that.
So here we are in Washington, DC. Oh, I'm sorry. There we were.
Damn. Cool. Here we are. YouTube. Holy. Dang, that's a lot bigger than I thought it was.
Big boy.
I'd like you to get to know and introduce you to my friend Abe. He's right behind me. Hey. There he is.
Hi, Abe. How you doing? Yeah.
Ready? Yeah.
He's been ready.
Turab.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Nice to see y'all, man.
I'm so 3008. You're so 2000 and late. You're in my shot.
You ever hear those people that get really pissed off that you're in their shot? You know what I mean?
No, me?
No, I mean, like, you ever hear like those camera people? They're like,
Oh.
they're just like, Jason, get the fuck out of my shot,
Yeah.
right? And they're, you just hear them talking shit about each other the whole time.